We good?
Yep.
It's 9:30. I'll call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. I'll second it.
I have a motion, a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. I will recess the regular session. And I will take a motion to open the continued public hearing for the annexation and reclassification of DD 11, 24, 34, 37, 49, and 52.
So moved.
Second. Is there any other further discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We're here for the continuation of DD 11 and all its smaller lateral tiles that feed into it. As Ina said, I did file one amendment today at our hearing. We originally had, I think it was in March, the Gobbler Trust said that they had tiled some of their land out. We made an amendment to that to remove one of their 40s and then to reduce this map that used to go over, come along the county road and then over. We've removed this 40, it looks like, following their tile lines, and also portion of this 40, and then the farm to the north that is owned by Connie Rosenberg. Remove a portion of hers, it looks like it was tiled out. The other request we had at our first hearing was Larry Brown spoke about tiling his farm. He's also on Drainage District 49 down at the south end here. And I did provide, we can't really find much evidence of tile, but drawing this map, it looks like some tiled in, some tiled out. And the surface, this is the contour map provided, color coded. Red is high and blue is low. It looks like it kind of became a wash is what I'm thinking. About the tile, some was tiled in, some was tiled out. Surface flows still would flow the same way they were before. So I'd recommend no change in his assessment. Without any more information, it was hard for me to, with just that hand-drawn map, looks like some's tiled in, some's tiled out. It seemed like kind of a wash.
We don't actually have a physical
We don't have a physical
tile map.
No, and trying to look at the aerial photos, it was hard to determine. Plus what we had just looked more like a wash than it did anything else. I know there was another, I believe you were at the last hearing and you had tile done. You thought maybe
That was the one for Connie, my mom was addressed, that's the one I've sent the maps and
Okay.
should be taken care of.
Cause yeah, we
That's,
reduced.
you're in agreement with that then, Josh?
I sent in the map,
That's, yeah, that portion's coming out.
Yeah, we took
you
off.
have that, what does that map look like to show what's going on in or out of it?
Farm right here, that, you think it's more than that, or you think that's? Right around.
No, cause I sent you that map, there's the main here and these mains here. Those are all private mains that go underneath the road and they drain over here.
Oh, the drain, okay, we had them still going into this, so we should take out more of that.
Well, whatever was, you see, I might have.
I think we drew them in thinking that these were going out, but this one was still going north.
Right here, all this stuff here, this is the private main right here, that drains into there, so all this stuff here, and that's the same one. That gives Gottlieb his outlet right here, it all goes into this private main right here.
So we should probably take off. This one. Well, yeah, all the, this drains this area too. And then we'll take the whole corner. So I'm gonna, and we can just do that here.
Yeah.
We'll remove we've already removed the southeast, we've reduced, we'll now remove the northeast, southeast, the northwest, southeast, and the southwest, southeast, that 160 acres. All will be removed.
Where all drains outside of the,
Yep, it'll still remain in DD 11 because it all drains to DD 11. And I don't recommend a change in their classification because 11 was so big, it won't. A minor change of where you're at won't matter much. But for DD 49, we'll remove those
168.
160 acres, yeah. There'd be 5 parcels, because we'll remove the acreage as well, because. Acreage.
And that, yeah.
And then that would be the only change unless there's any more information or anyone's heard anything else. We haven't received any other tile maps. Only Val. She would have forwarded me if she did.
Any other comments or questions for the
Is there
engineer?
anything figured out with this water that comes from Minnesota?
That would be a Jim question.
You said the last meeting, you said to look into it. I mean, because the way I understand it, this whole one, this Deer Creek watershed was put in as a federal project. Well, a federal project that trumps state lines.
Sure.
But now we're trying to put state regulations on a federal project. When we do this,
Yeah, we
which is
did.
making a lot of sense, because there's a lot of parcels, and a lot of acres up there in Minnesota, they're getting drained for free, and now we're gonna pay for it.
Right.
With doing all this reclassification. I mean, it's a sticky, kind of a gray area.
That's unfortunate, and that's exactly what it is, isn't?
We did drive up there. There's culverts right there on the county line, or the state line. It should help mediate some, mitigate it somewhat.
But that water drains into.
But yeah, it still
drains
drains
into this district, they're using this infrastructure.
Right.
It still uses it, yeah.
Isn't
You
that,
want Hudson
it's-
or not?
It's always been a stickler.
Yeah, you can call it set up, yeah.
Well, I mean, we're trying to make this all fair for everybody.
yeah, oh yeah,
Where-
definitely.
where it's not gonna be fair if that's still gonna be the case with them guys up there.
What changed with Deer Creek not that long ago, didn't they? Basically,
So it's going from federal, they're basically turning it over to us,
right, that's what I thought.
yeah. But that doesn't, like you say,
Mhm.
you know, why wasn't it that way years ago? That state line is a major.
Well,
I don't
now,
know if during the federal
I
project.
mean, I think
don't
it's
know.
always been a county facility. That's helped pay for it, I think.
County never really had anything to do, I mean,
No, it
we
was
did,
set up by the Army
It was
Corps
set
of
up by-
Engineers. They asked anybody that wanted to be in it, if they elected to be in it, they needed.
You have reached Jim Hudson at Hudson Law Firm. Please leave a
If
message.
you didn't, then it was set up for just the ones that went and applied for it. Otherwise, the rest of them weren't.
I was a kid when this started, so.
but I mean, if it's no longer, if
I
it's no
just
longer a federal
remember-
thing, if it's ours, then we should have control. If somebody else is draining into it, then we should be able to annex that in technically, shouldn't we?
Annex a common outlet or
I
something.
know,
Right, at least the common outlet.
yeah, from what I've heard about is that they only are in if they want to be in, when you get the state lines.
And
They have to have
that-
their own drainage district.
Which I understand.
So we can build a dam then?
I mean,
Unfortunately, all it's gonna do
So-
is blow the road out.
so you're
Right.
saying that, okay, all of a sudden Deer Creek was all plugged up and it started affecting their drainage, there's not a damn thing they can do? Or they can come down here and tell us we have to clean it.
Yeah, I don't know if that would trump,
I mean,
yeah, cause. If it would dam it up, I mean, there is, the culverts do, probably hold some of the water back, but not a lot.
well, I think they tried to do it once.
Well, there's a restrictor up on 510.
You know more than I do, I just
And
don't know.
they did, Jim Hyde
Yeah.
opened that up to put some Minnesota people into our drainage. And that's when the road started flooding. I got a wall that got blown out in my basement. I know a lot of people had flooding, lost crops and stuff.
Mhm.
They had to put it back in, that restrictor was to stay in place for that reason. Or you'll be replacing roads all the time otherwise. They
That's,
took out
Yeah.
480th,
look at that.
they
But
took out a
apparently,
bunch of them.
apparently there's never been, countywide, I mean, we never had anything to do with Minnesota, unfortunately. It's,
Yeah, it's, I don't know if any across state lines. I know there's drainage.
County
districts-
lines is easy,
Yeah,
easy to work with the
Yeah,
neighbor
drainage
county, but-
districts,
Yeah,
there's drainage districts in Minnesota that come right up to the line and then that goes into Iowa.
This is the map that was in my folder that Grandpa had right here. It's project Deer Creek watershed. It says Freeborn County, Minnesota, Worth County line. So they are obviously were included in this, and this was drawn up.
yep,
There were some that did sign up and they were allotted in.
So then they're getting their drainage for free then, because they don't ever get assessed for
They-
anything we had in comparison.
yeah, we don't assess them, obviously.
Limits them,
We got other areas like that too, that come on in Minnesota and some over to the west. There's one over to the west for sure.
I'm not Ammon.
On Emmons right there.
Yeah, same situation over there is, doesn't get assessed north of
Yeah.
the state
Yeah,
line.
I don't know if there's a way you can assess across state lines. I think it almost has to be like two drainage districts. They have in Minnesota, because Minnesota has slightly different laws, the drainage district than we do. So it would almost have to be two separate drainage districts.
And do they have drainage districts up there?
They do.
Oh, they do, okay.
Yes, they do. They have drainage districts. I don't know if they're called drainage districts, but they're called something. It's the same basic principle to them.
Bolton Mink office in Fairmont, so.
Yeah.
And we do a little bit of drainage. We don't do a lot of drainage in this.
Because, yeah, if we can push that question over to Jim Hudson to find out.
See what he can say.
He's the one really, to push it, it'd be the attorney to push it.
Right,
It has to be the attorney.
right.
Yeah, to say at minimum, there should be a common outlet charge.
Yeah, if they're using,
Yeah, if they're dumping their water and it's coming this way and not, it's free, basically.
it's not fair to everybody in the south that's,
Otherwise, we'd have
that
to
paid
build,
for it already.
we'd have to build a really big dam to hold that water back.
Wall.
well, you wouldn't have to be able to do either, because it's whatever flow, whatever free flow of water, you're not supposed to be able to dam that up, that's what basically common law is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people at the bottom of the hill are supposed to take the water, there's just nothing you can do about it, but they should be assessed for
There should be a sense of percentage, I mean.
Yeah.
something there.
And that's probably where, if there is that minor dam there now, it probably does put it back to what it would have been, maybe more naturally what Deer Creek was prior to all the improvements done.
restrictor.
Restrictor, it might make their outlet the same as what it was before.
But you said that got taken out.
And Ty took it out and then we contacted the Army Corps of Engineers, told them it got taken out and they said, no, you have to put it back in. So it got put back in.
It's in there, I went and looked at it.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
week,
Yeah.
Yeah, we went up there.
It's there.
Yeah.
And I know Grayling used to watch it too. We had ditch tours every year.
Good. Any other comments or questions for Jacob?
I got, well, this is ongoing, this is a separate the tile problem that we're working on by the house.
A separate one?
Well, it is, but it's a question that's pertaining to basically what we're doing here.
Okay.
I got places where we put partial mains in and paid for it ourselves, and now I'm gonna get assessed more on these mains where we're trying to make this fair, trying to make this work, but I'm getting assessed more on tile that don't even work now. And what happens to tile that I paid for them, because I've been through this all before, tried to do repairs, and the neighbors all go around and sign the petition because they don't wanna spend the money, because it ain't their problem. And then I end up paying for it myself, and then now I'm gonna get assessed for more repairs on stuff that I've already repaired and paid for myself.
Well, if it's repairs, we can take care of that.
Repairs are repairs.
Repairs. You don't have to have your neighbor's permission for repairs. Once they have to tell it hits a certain dollar amount.
Yeah, $50.
Yeah,
50,000.
so if you went in and put $5,000 into repairs, fixing what's there. If a bill
Well,
comes,
we put a relief line, a 12-inch tile inside the room.
that's above and beyond repairs.
So I would imagine a relief line gets to be an improvement, but
Yeah,
But we went through this whole process and nobody wanted to pay. Well, in order for it to finish tile job, there ain't no use putting more tile into a main that already don't work, so we're good for something.
And that's the one that it's plugged now that you're having issues with.
Well, it's the top end, that's the bottom end, it starts at me, but that's basically the line that's given off the grid. But I mean, we paid for repairs on that line, that's just what I'm curious about, now I'm gonna get assessed more on repairs people were made paid for ourselves.
Yeah, if it was repairs to stuff that there, you could have submitted a bill to the district and.
Well,
been
putting
paid
that
for
12
it.
inch, I think would have done, well, we tried to get it repaired and that was over and above, and it got voted down. Two neighbors took a petition out of the whole neighborhood and everybody signed it, but nobody wants
That must
to,
have
because it wasn't a problem.
Must've been quite a few years ago then.
20 years ago.
Okay, say, but yeah, way before me then, Mark. Yeah, if it's repairs, they can come to us and basically.
Well, it's
if you-
already,
you know,
that was done in 2 years, it's already
Right.
done in the ground now.
But
But that's the reason it was done, that was before my time too, that was between grandpa and dad and uncle and all that stuff. they got tired of dealing with this, because nothing, we couldn't get nothing done, nobody could agree on it.
Right.
Well, that's what these watersheds are, when they're put in, it's just like a road or a bridge, they gotta be maintained, they don't last forever.
Exactly. No, and the main that we've got on order for now, we're looking at replacing that to what it is, because under repair, we can just repair it, bring it back to its original state. And that's what we're doing, so if there's an outlet problem, we're looking at fixing that, and that'll get assessed to everybody on that schedule. So, but if you ever get a repair that's on a main like that, you can just contact Val in the office, and if it's something you can do yourself.
I've repaired 3 already this spring, so I can sit my bill on those 3.
Absolutely.
Sure. She was kind of a gray area for her, because I asked her, and then she said, well, you're supposed to get an estimate, and blah, 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 this and that, I'm like, well, the hole is
Well-
here. It's 10 minutes away from planting, I'm not calling somebody, I'm gonna get the excavator out. and
You
fix it.
You can contact her and she can just pass it on to us. If it's just a simple fix like that, it's no more different than taking out a beaver dam. We get bills for beaver dams all the time.
You know, all of this, just a cement tile with the joints, that mean the stuff is shit, and this last winter must have been worse than any other winter before. I just need more than main shit, I fixed more this year than I ever have.
Yeah.
That's better digging it up and putting fabric over it, covering it up, because we know it do.
Right, right. And that's what we're looking at. Put a new main in through there. So.
Well, I got the picture on my phone, like, that's one of the reasons that's what this whole got started, because that's where I fixed one blow at, and that's. Like I told Val, I measured on GIS, that's got that measuring tool on there, and how far I was south of the property line. And supposedly where I'm at should be about a 14-inch tile, well, I stuck my tape in the crack of that tile. And the top of the tile was at 9 inches, well, it's an inch probably for what that cement tile is, so I got 8 inches of capacity in the 14-inch tile. The rest is silted.
Yeah, it's due. It's due, so. And with that,
You could crush the existing one by a new 15-inch as a repair.
since we can't, if it is a 14-inch, they don't make that.
Well,
we
see,
can-
I got.
We can go the next size bigger, I think it still stays.
I got the elevation maps from the engineer, it changes sizes quite a bit on the top side there as it goes down. So I mean, it starts at an 8, and where I'm at ain't very far from the top, it's already at 14.
Right.
So it must have, they designed it, I suppose, for how much water it was supposed to take at the time. I mean, if you go by what percentage was filled on 14, what do you think the 8 at the top looks like now? But I mean, that's separate, that's kind of a separate issue, from what we're doing here, I mean, that's good.
Right, but it's still a discussion to have in this district, so it's fine.
Yeah, turn in those repair bills. She did.
Yeah, if you did some and can make a bill out, that's the repairs we pay everybody else, and shouldn't be.
And normally on little stuff like that, you go through the engineer and he does a work order so that we have a track of it.
So I'm sure you'll talk to Val or you talk to them, I mean, I don't think I'm.
Just in the
Just so,
future,
In the call and let them know.
call the engineer's office or Val, either way, and just say, hey, this is what's going on. I can fix it, it's just gonna be a 10-foot replacement of what's there.
But if it's little stuff,
Yeah,
they do it, they have a work order, so there's a tracking of
Yeah.
it.
just
So
so
that when bills come in, we can go, yeah, that was already,
Yeah.
okay.
so just make a phone call that way first, but with this stuff, get it to Val. Stuff that you already fixed and that'll get billed out to the district the way it should, so.
So, well, that ain't, that's just part of the time, I guess.
Right.
It is what it is.
But everybody else turns them in, so you may as well too.
I know.
Turned one in this spring.
So, yeah,
Any other comments or questions for the engineer? I will take a motion to close the public hearing. So I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Public
Aye.
hearing is closed. I will reconvene the regular session and consider action on the annexation and reclassification reports with the changes.
If you want to amend it to remove the southeast quarter of section 2. Before you know.
okay, I'll make a motion to approve the amendment to the DD 49 with the removal of section 2,
Southeast quarter.
southeast corner,
Quarter of section.
approximately 160 acres. Correct? That's my motion.
Hold on a second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on it? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. No, You wanna? Do we need a motion for the annexation and the reclass then? Cause all we made is a motion to amend it, or do you wanna?
That kind of accepts everything else.
Okay. Anything else? Take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion, a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Meeting is adjourned.